Hello.
Hey everybody, good morning. Today is August 24th, Saturday. I'm Gene.
And I'm Zane.
And you're hanging with Uncle.
We're having an interesting one today. I had to work late yesterday and make some extra money, so I could not show up for the show, so we decided to do a special Saturday show this week. Nothing too special. We're still doing the 30 minutes and everything, but
yeah, it's just a different day and time.
Early in the morning, well, kind of in the afternoon now. Hopefully you had your coffee. Hopefully everyone's ready to conquer your weekend or relax as much as possible too. That's kind of the goal for me.
Definitely.
Yeah. But don't forget to hit the like button.
And subscribe.
Absolutely. And hit the notification bell to know whenever we go live in the future. In case we have to reschedule just like today. And you're here because you got notified.
Miss a thing.
Yeah. Anyways, first things first, we want to talk about something that's really important.
Oh, I know just from personal experience from as long as I've known Zane, that this topic is extremely personal.
It is. It hits honestly home for me. I am a older brother of 8 total, only biological. Everybody else is adopted throughout my family, and some of them have their own special need and or a need that, whichever. And the one thing that really grabbed my attention this weekend is how everyone has been treating Tim Walz's son, Gus Walz. To my understanding, Gus Walz has a disability to where he's unable to speak. He doesn't have the ability to speak, and also ADHD and kind of a disassociation of disability. And lately, he's been kind of the front of everything that's going on with the campaign lately.
Well,
he's been the star, honestly.
Yeah, I know he's medically diagnosed with a disability.
Yes.
I don't know if it's he can't speak or not, because at least I know he did one thing at the convention when his dad, Governor Walz, was speaking on Wednesday. He said how much he loved his family and named all of them by name. Right?
He has a non-verbal learning disorder, and he deals with ADHD and anxiety. He's neurodivergent.
That's it, neurodivergent.
Yes.
But you could hear him reading his lips saying, that's my dad.
Yeah.
Just so proud of him.
Yeah.
And, of course, the MAGA crowd, being just the biggest human pieces of shit that they are making fun of that, mocking that, like, as long as we have been dealing. I remember when there was a kid who grew up just down the street from me who had a disability. It's something I grew up with, It's not anything new.
Not only do I have family, but it's like my career too. I taught of many people how to care towards these people and provide love towards these types of people. And they need more of that. They need more of the spotlight, being able to be out there and be seen and not exposed to the world, but to be more sensitized to the world. And the world needs to be more sensitized to them.
Right.
And this hate that he's receiving from many people that I'm seeing, even online, is just so heartbreaking. It's the trashiest thing I've ever seen ever. But they're treating. They're saying he just be inside. That's basically the idea. But look at more into it if you need to. But it breaks my heart. Really, it does.
So one Fox pundit, I can't remember his name, was making a joke that, well, of course he has a disability. His dad was 43 when, they were successful with IVF. What do you expect from old and dusty sperm?
Messed up.
I'm just like, fuck you.
That's really messed up.
It's like we worked at an organization that dealt with adults with disabilities.
That's how we met each other.
Right. I ran Special Olympics, and Zane worked with me and helped bring golf. And it was just so much. Zane was the head basketball coach, for Special Olympics.
Years, yeah.
It was. This is some very close and very personal. It's an entire community and
people who need support from anybody, not just those who care. Everyone, honestly, it's so hard to see them being put down and treated this way still to this day, when really they are members of society just like you and I.
My great nephew has autism.
Mm-hmm.
It's no one can escape it. If you don't have it in your family, you know someone who does.
Exactly.
And if that's your human capacity to show compassion for another person, you know, like I said, just go fuck yourself.
It's that fear of something that's different, Gene. It's so bizarre that people are so open to be able to talk and say such crude things towards somebody who it's not even their choice. That's a weird thing that bothers me. Just like you and I, we get discriminated against for just not even a choice that you and I have made in life for how we look. They also have the same cards. They just have more to play and more to deal with throughout life.
Right.
And need that guidance and that extra help, and being beaten down is not the way to go.
You know, name one person who made a conscious decision to be born with a disability,
Nobody.
to be born with Down syndrome or Williams syndrome or autism.
There's no possible way.
You know, right? So
you're not at some character choice slot, whatever. I'm going to be this, that, and that, and then bam, and then you're born. It doesn't happen.
And that's what, you know, I think ultimately really pisses me off the most is that there's no empathy.
Right.
You know, it's like, I don't have to deal with it, so it sucks to be you. Instead of...
And then I get to continue building that fire as well.
You know, and the way I look at it is, but for the grace of God, there go I. So, again, what's the biggest test that we have as human beings? Whatever you do for the least of my brethren. So, you want to mock him? You want to mock one of God's least of his brethren.
That's...
And call yourself an evangelical.
Yeah. You said it, not me. But I actually do. I agree, man. It's just, I talked about it with somebody in my training class the other day, you know, loving thy neighbor and loving each other for who they are. And like understanding that, again, it's not that they don't want to be that way. They weren't chosen to be that way. They, again, just like you and I, there was no choice. So why do we have to get so, why do other people, even those who are disabled and those who don't have the ability, why do they receive this scrutiny when it wasn't even their choice to be this way in the first place?
You know, exactly.
So
exactly.
I don't know, man. It's something that does hit me so deeply, and they are criticizing the way he acts towards his son too, and how he's acting as a father towards him and all that. It's just, again,
mind telling everyone how much he loves him.
Yeah, mind your own damn business.
Right?
Again.
You know, but you know, I hope that when Kamala Harris gets elected, that Governor Walz will use his platform to address the issue of what are we going to do with these human beings who outlive and survive their parents, because there's just the natural order of things. Mr. and Mrs. Walz will pass away before Gus does.
Yep.
So what kind of care, what kind of empathy, what kind of human beings are we going to be to show towards Gus Walz and everybody else in that community that lives in this nation? You
know, honestly, like, I'm there for my brother when my parents aren't around afterwards, when he needs choices in life and help. So I would be his guardian then when it becomes that point. But it's like, you gotta... There's not just family that needs to care for these people. There's plenty of others that need to start learning how to care towards these people. Police officers, there's plenty of stories where I hear where police officers are mishandling behavioral issues that somebody who is schizophrenic is having, or somebody who has autism is having, and they get mishandled and mistreated. And it's just, I think people need to understand and familiarize themselves with just how to care towards people more these days. And
exactly.
It's something that we've been barking at for a long time.
Anyway, you know, I know for a fact that we would love to know your thoughts on this issue.
Yes.
Again, this is something that is very near and dear to us. You know, just
absolutely.
As far as being a good quality human being, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but how you treat the least of your brethren.
Exactly that. You know, love is universal. You gotta love everybody, no matter who and how they are. That's how I've always looked at it.
Yeah.
Anyways, carrying on to the next big thing.
Yeah,
very big.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
So the DNC and the RNC have both started and ended as of now. Today we are done. They've happened. We're getting some kind of feedback, and
their
all
conventions
the
are over.
So we're now going to recap them with you, kind of in a way, not like accurately, but more like talk about how we feel from the results of them?
You know it, and when we were off camera, Zane brought up a good point.
Yeah.
And
gotta remind me when
you know, I will. For those that are like trying to understand what a convention is.
Oh, hey, that's right. So I was like, okay, so what is the difference? Is this like something that's part of the tour, like where they're like, yeah, like rally, or is this a completely different thing? And Gene has explained, yes, something that's completely different from the rallies and the blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. This is them accepting the nomination for Democrat or Republican representative, right? Basically.
Right.
Okay, good. I'm all caught up then, because I was really confused between what all those things were. You know what I mean? There's
yeah, but I liked your simile, your reference,
it's like
metaphor to Comic-Con.
It's like Comic-Con.
Because that's what it is. You know, it's like a bunch of people, political-minded, go to the conventions versus a bunch of people kind of nerdy, you know, going to Comic-Con. Now, personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with being
Comic-Con's fun. I have a lot of cool
it.
things. There's a lot of cool things in my house that I got from Comic-Con over the years. But overall, it's just like the convention, I had a hard time separating the things because there's a lot of things online. There's a lot of like interviews that you see, a lot of speeches and everything like that. So you're trying to compare which one is which. In the DNC, there's a little kid who's walking around. He's like 12, I believe.
Oh my god!
Yeah. He's my favorite. I can't remember his name. Dang it.
So I wasn't going to say his name, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but he is not going to be my dumbass of the week. He is going to be my hero of the week.
Hero of the week. I was going to say badass of the week or something like that, because the kiddo is a star on the floor. He is so funny. He is 12, yes. Like the guy, the pillow guy conversation.
Mike Lindell.
Oh, it was awesome. Like
a 12-year-old kid schooled Mike Lindell.
Owned.
Mike Lindell thought he was going to be clever and shave his mustache and go incognito. No one would know who he was.
Right.
But you know, you can't fake that voice when he starts opening his mouth. You know who it is. You know, and I know that was a terrible impersonation.
No,
but
I wasn't going to say anything, but I don't know. You got to look into it because that little guy.
He confronted this kid. Like, you know, that's how much intellect Mike Lindell has. He confronts this kid thinking he's going to get over on him, and this kid schooled him, and I love when he was like, yeah, I pay attention to everything, especially your bankruptcy. I mean, just bitch slapped him.
It's like 12. Our future's bright. I feel like the future's looking great. I mean, and
that's why we need to not ban books, so we can educate our people.
I feel like this kid was raised not only on books and education, but he is well informed on internet and culture and everything like that. Cause well spoken. He definitely knows how to represent himself, and he's nicely dressed, has his own microphone, properly introduces himself every single time, and also knows what he's talking about. And he's not afraid to be petty. And that's what I think we need more in politics, is to be able to shut the F up and listen to what's happening here, because he's bringing it.
He's the kind of person that you can tell will one day sit behind the Resolute desk because he already knows consequences. So he's not going to make any decisions that will pitfall his career.
No.
He's got way too much going for him, and I'm so glad he's smart enough to recognize bullshit when it's thrown in his face.
And throw it right back, too.
Right.
Yeah, smack it. But more about the DNC, too. Kamala's speech was absolutely, it was motivating. It was nice. It felt good. But also, all the other speeches leading up to hers were phenomenal.
Man, they
were great.
You know, I look at the Democrat convention like I look at a Major League Baseball team, right? So you have the major leagues, but then you have, AAA ball, and then you have AA ball, then single A ball, and what the Democrats have shown with everyone they brought on the stage. They have depth. They have a deep farm club to call from for people that are ready to go to the bigs and perform.
And say something and talk.
And that kid reminds me of, right now he's in AAA just because he's in 12. He's not going to stay there.
No, he's not. He's going to keep rising. Honestly, we'll see more of him, is what I'm expecting.
Without a doubt. And I honestly, because he's 12, just again, protection, I don't want to say his name. He's a kid. He's a minor. He doesn't deserve to have his name out there. So there's a reason we're not saying it.
Exactly, but damn, he's doing his due
I
diligence
want
to
to
make
so
sure
badly because he needs his props.
You
But
just look it up. DNC 12-year-old. And he
Right.
came up. So, but yeah, Kamala's speech was very motivating. Barack's speech was funny. Talking about the $5 foot long things.
oh my goodness, man. He should do stand-up.
Yeah. I miss well-spoken speeches, man. That's what I miss from him. Like, seeing him up there, it's just like, it's not an obsession, but it makes your heart kind of like melt a little bit. It's like, it's Barack, man. He's there. Like, there he is. I'm listening. I know what he's saying, and his words make sense, and it's like, yay. Like, I'm not listening to a bumbling idiot.
You're right.
It feels so good.
When I listen to Barack Obama and Michelle Obama and Tim Walz and Bill Clinton and Hakeem Jeffries and Pete Buttigieg and
Buttigieg is
AOC, you can... again, man, the farm club is deep.
They got the bullpen,
and it's like, yes, this is somebody that is intelligently talking to me without trying to insult my intelligence.
And that's exactly what I've gotten from the RNC. We're about to hop onto the next part of the topic. Is that a lot of it was name calling and scrutinizing, and he was talking about how she said thank you so many times. Well, yeah, because she's thankful that people are there. Like, the fuck?
To me, the RNC was nothing but complaining.
Yes.
So, again, all right, this is the GOP playbook. Number one, you hear it in their platform. They talk about illegal immigrants coming in and committing crimes, right?
Kick people out. Remove this person. I don't like these people.
That was a tactic that worked for George H.W. Bush with a guy called Willie Horton. And it won because Bush was down big to Mike Dukakis. And because of Willie Horton, Dukakis lost that race, and that's how we got George H.W. Bush as president.
Got it, okay.
And every single election, it's been crime as the boogeyman and illegal immigration, and we're always going to hear that thanks to Willie Horton.
On repeat, man. It's the same thing.
It is.
A broken record.
Number two, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right? So now we have the bipartisan immigration bill, right? Biden says he wants to sign it. Well, we can't have Biden signing it. It'll give him credit. Biden says he doesn't want to sign it. See, Democrats want open borders. That's all they want to do. That's their entire playbook. That's it.
Just scapegoating.
I mean, you saw it. Am I wrong?
No, not at all. And it comes down to a conversation that I've had recently that, I'm not worried about immigration at the moment.
No.
Like, I'm worried about me paying $1,900 in rent in an apartment. I'm worried about my groceries being almost $300. I'm worried about my electric bill being almost $400. Like, when are things like that going to change? When are companies allowed to be not quit price gouging us and killing us from the inside? Like, when are we going to redirect our money in the correct place to where we're actually going to thrive instead of our roads breaking and having massive potholes that are breaking axles in places? Like, we're not focusing on infrastructure in the future. We're focusing on what? Exactly. Hatred.
Well, again, that's what they're doing, because I remember for 4 years doing, Cadet Bonespur's administration, everything was talked about was infrastructure, but they did nothing.
Right.
Like, not until Biden got in office.
To me, the Republican Party is supposed to be the party, to me in my mindset, that's supposed to be good with money and handling the economics and balancing things out and making sure things are fair for prices for us Americans. That's how my mindset was about how the Republican Party usually would stand, trying to make sure everything is, we're paying less but also gaining money and things are going in the direct correction. But nothing like that I heard in the RNC speeches. It was hatred. Remove these people. We don't like these people at all. We gotta do this, that, and the third. So
truth be told, the economy has always done better under Democrats.
Has it?
For example, you can't tell me Cadet Bonespurs is good with money when in 4 years he added $8 trillion to our debt.
And news facts, today we're still under his tax
under the 2017 tax act. Yeah.
Yeah, it ends in 2025, right? So we're still technically under his umbrella in taxes, where my water is now, my 5-gallon water jug used to be only 75 cents 3 years ago. Now it's $1.75 as of yesterday. It's $1.75, but that's how much it has changed for me to be able to just go get water for my family. When you said in some places you can just go get free water, fill it up, get your jug filled, and take it home.
So yeah, when I lived in Arkansas, you can go to hot springs.
That's crazy.
And they have faucets. Just bring your jug, fill it up, and go home.
Here in Arizona, you have to pay $1.75 for that. I took $1.25 because that's what I thought it was last time I filled it up. It went up 50 cents instead of 25, but it normally does.
So yeah, that's price gouging. The government doesn't own a water business. That's the company jacking up the price.
Companies have too much power right now.
And that's what that's all about. So
housing market has too much power right now.
That's why building the economy from the bottom up and the middle out addresses all those issues you were just talking about.
Yeah, it's the place that I live says that they're allowed to place the price of the place that I'm living because other places are doing it. They're trying to mirror the economy. They're trying to mirror their prices for everybody, trying to make it fair for everyone. When I haven't seen a renovation in my place since I've been there for 3 years, it's being advertised $400 less than what I'm paying a month. What is happening?
And that's why
we're worried about immigration.
And that's why I support, and we talked about it last week, man.
Mm-hmm.
I support President Harris's plan to give
first-time
home buyers $25,000.
I want my $25,000 to go buy my home.
Right?
Yes.
Because you can't tell me it makes more sense to pay $1,900 in rent.
Yes.
But you don't qualify for $1,000 a month mortgage.
And I'm going to hop on that as soon as it becomes available.
Right? So again, that's price gouging. Profits are up. Mm-hmm. But you and I aren't seeing it, so where's the money going?
I'm making more money than I've ever had in my 15 years of being employed in the United States of America, and I'm still going paycheck to paycheck, trying to keep my family afloat.
Yeah,
how fun,
right? And because we
shouldn't have to pay for water. You're right. Sorry, Bev. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. It's like, to me, it's like I equate that with something my dad used to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I have to pay for a fishing license? Government didn't put the fish in the water.
Hell no. Yeah.
And the government didn't put the water in the ground.
Ain't no government fish, yo.
Right?
That's so funny.
I agree. That makes sense. Anyway, what do you guys think? That's just the difference in...
I just think that progressive word, remember we used to say that here a lot in the show?
Yeah.
Has gone out the window. Crumble it up. Boo, gone. Our progressive mindset is gone. Everyone's just worried about stupid stuff that doesn't even exist anymore. Well, it does exist, but doesn't even affect us directly.
You know what I've noticed? You're right. Because Democrats have turned being the party of progressive to we're the party of democracy.
We're like emergency services. We're
how many
firefighter.
How many flags, American flag? There were way more American flags at the DNC than there were at the RNC.
There were a lot of more empty seats at the
RNC. There were way more USA flags. It's like Democrats have reclaimed what it means to be an American because obviously
they're hitting the reset button is what it feels like.
They are hitting the reset button because what MAGA's trying to do is not American.
We're rewinding is what they want to do. They want to cut things out of the videotape.
We're going to say, let's
rewind.
Take this before 2016 and eliminate that bullshit.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
But anyways, let us know what you think in the comments below.
Please.
Go out there and check out anything that we've talked about today. We have our dumbasses of the week, real quick.
Yes.
Mine, Arizona convention happened last night here for Trump.
It was a rally.
It
was a rally.
My bad. But see, same thing, right? But a lot of people say, I feel it was much more than blah, 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 and people would be turning away at the gates. One, the gates that they were showing when they were turning people away were gates that were supposed to be closed and people weren't supposed to line up there, and people were just trying to get in. So that's what they were using, the image of people being turned away, is them being told to go the correct direction. And 2, there are a lot more empty seats there. And the red kind of blends in with all the red that they were wearing there as well. So it's hard to point out the empty seats in there, but with the cameras that you're able to and the focus that you have on your phone, you can definitely point out the empty seats and the empty spaces in the area too. But also follow-up photo of Trump. He looked like he was like made of leather in some of his photos. It's like, holy crap. But anyways, dumbasses of the week, people blowing things up when they shouldn't be.
And
yeah,
you know, that's something else that is getting under his skin too. Not only are his crowd sizes small, but there's no energy, there's no cheer. You have people getting up and walking out in the middle of his speeches.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like he's done for.
Yeah.
He's toast. Unless a miracle happens, we're gonna be saying Madam President on November 5th.
A lot of people are looking forward to it.
Yeah. So my hero of the week, number one,
I'm sorry,
is 12-year-old. But I would also like to include Kamala's nieces.
Okay. Yeah, I did see some of these stories.
Yeah, they're on stage with Kerry Washington, man, and you know, it's like, we're here to tell you how to pronounce our auntie's name.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you do it, it's on purpose and you're an asshole and you're being disrespectful because there's no excuse.
Kamala.
You know how to pronounce her name. You know?
It's like the Walmart.
And it's just like, it was an example of the lessons we can learn from children.
Definitely. And even my 11-year-old says a few things that I don't talk this shit with him ever. But things that he says is like, yeah, I'm glad you're smart.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to bring up for criticism actually towards the DNC, Hassan Piker, one of my favorite streamers who likes talking about politics and everything, did get kicked out there for he was critiquing. He was bringing his criticism and his critiques. He wanted more conversation about Palestine, but I don't give a shit about that either. But I do, but I don't want to hear more about that. I want to hear about like now what we need from our infrastructure. Right? I know we need the ceasefire to happen, but like again, we talked about that last on the show. Go back to that episode and check that one out. But it's that constant circle we're seeing. It doesn't need to be a conversation anymore. Tuck it back. But he wanted it to be more of that instead of less about the opponent and Trump in the future.
Yeah,
and that's what he was critiquing, and they kicked him out. But
and during Kamala's acceptance speech, she did mention that. She mentioned the ceasefire. She mentioned
more
people of Palestine living in peace. You know, she did mention that, but I can tell you it was a well-known fact and openly broadcasted. I don't know if that's the right term, but the DNC was not going to accept any pro-Palestine talk into the convention. That was not on the table.
Yeah, it's not the reason for the convention.
Right. We're here to accept the presidency. And
yes, she is the vice president, but she is doing something else separate from that at the moment. Need to keep that part away. When she leaves, then now vice president stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But anyway, so yeah, they made that very clear at the very, very beginning that there would be no Palestine stuff. It's not to say that they're not interested in the issue.
No, it's
that
just
was just
not the time to talk
or place.
about it. Exactly that.
And that's their decision, not mine. You know, again, what are your thoughts on the issue?
I just wanted to hear more conversations, maybe see if Hassan got more interviews, because he got pretty solid interviews too. But anyways, I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
And it's been Hanging with Uncle. You guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you for tuning in to our special Saturday episode.
Yes.
And we will see you next Friday on the correct time, at the correct date.
You mean Friday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say? I thought you said Saturday.
Friday.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, Friday.
I'm Zane.
I'm Gene.
And it's been Hanging with Uncle.
Be kind to one another and treat each other the way you want to be treated.
Pay yourself.
Pay yourself.